तहे खैबर किसी में दम है तो आए मजार जहरा पर.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to another episode, episode 5 of our podcast series on the Baqi Cemetery. As we just celebrated Eid around the world, it is a fitting time to reflect on the significance of this occasion and its connection to the Baqi Cemetery. Today, we will explore the relationship and our responsibility as Muslims in preserving and respecting the signs of Allah. Eid is a time to connect with our loved ones and thank Allah for His countless blessings. It is a joyous occasion that marks the end of Ramadan, the holy month of fasting. Ramadan is a time of spiritual growth and self reflection when we strive to attain piety through our actions and intentions. For example, struggling through fast by making haram what was halal in regular months to seek Allah's blessings and follow his orders even when others are not looking. This is an example of piety. Piety or righteousness is a source of success in life and the hereafter. The Holy Quran says, "Indeed, the most noble of you in the sight of Allah is the most righteous among you." It is crucial to understand the connection between piety and respecting the signs of Allah for our spiritual development. Those who disrespect the signs of Allah distance themselves from piety, as stated in the Quran. And whoever honors the symbols of Allah, indeed, it is from the piety of hearts. The Baqi Cemetery is one such signs of Allah, and within its grounds lie the final resting place of four Imams from the progeny of the Prophet. For over 100 years, the graves of these revered figures have lain in ruins, neglected and desecrated. When we ignore their plight, we ignore the signs of Allah, and in turn, we disregard piety. As narrated by Imam Ali alayhi salam, he who disregards the signs of Allah, verily he has disregarded the rights of Allah. Imagine the profound anguish and heartache you would experience as a regular human being if your loved ones' graves were left in a state of despair and you were powerless to even visit them and stand by them, let alone restore them. Our hearts would be filled with sorrow and grief. This is the tragic reality for the sacred resting place of the Imams of Ahl Bayt alayhi salam from the household of the Prophet, the source of the creation in the universe, in the Baqi Cemetery. And we cannot afford to stay silent at this point. It has been 100 years that people have been silent on this issue, seeing those desecrated graves and are not uniting to at least force the government to make a change. It's not even under any non Muslim government, it is under a Muslim government who claim themselves as the custodian of the two holy shrines. Now, consider the feeling of our Creator. If we have the feelings looking at the graves of our loved ones and we our hearts filled with sorrow, consider the feelings. Saying that the feelings Allah has feelings is it's a true statement because Allah is happy with some people, Allah blesses some people, Allah is angry at some people. It doesn't mean one feeling overtakes the other feeling. And that's why Allah Ta'ala says in Surah Al-Hamd, Ahdina Sirat al-Mustaqim, Sirat al-Lazina an'amta alayhim, Ghayr al-Maghdubi alayhim walad dhalin. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. This basically means that there are people who have been blessed with inam and there are people who have deserved punishment. And now for our Creator who loves and cherishes his signs, because Allah mentions that whoever respects the signs of Allah is amongst the piety and his chosen ones. Allah loves his chosen ones, and that's why Allah mentions the chosen ones in the Quran, those who have been blessed with inam. If we as humans feel such pain for our loved ones, how would God himself feel about the neglect of his signs and the desecration of the resting place of his loved ones? Just think about this. For those who question whether the individuals buried in Baqi Cemetery are truly the loved ones of Allah, we need only to turn to the Quran for confirmation. In Surah Ahzab, Allah mentions clearly to the Prophet, "Indeed, Allah intends to purify you, O people of the household Ahl al-Bayt, and to cleanse you completely." In verse 33, this verse highlights the special status of the Prophet's family, including the Imams, who are the direct descendants and spiritual leaders of the Muslim community. And there are many more examples to support this from the Quran. If we understand the deep love and care Allah has for His signs and His chosen ones, we must also recognize our responsibility to protect and preserve the sanctity of the Baqi Cemetery. Our silence is not an option. It is our duty to raise our voice and take action to restore the dignity and honor of the sacred site, which holds immense significance to our faith and our connection with Allah. So, are we going to stay quiet and enjoy our lives while the graves of the source of creation of the universe are left open, open in air, exposed to all the elements of weather? It is time for us to take action and fulfill our responsibilities as Muslims to respect and preserve the signs of Allah. Thank you for joining us today on this journey. And again, continue to share this information and continuing following us, because we're going to every day talk about our responsibility. May our reflections on this Eid and the Baqi Cemetery inspire us to honor the signs of Allah and to strive for piety in our lives. Until our next episode, thank you. Take care. Assalamu alaikum.
बोले खींच के तलवार फातह खैबर, किसी में दम है तो आए मजार ज़हरा पर।
रसन गले में पड़ी सब्र कर लिया मैंने, बतुल रोती रही सब्र कर लिया मैंने, ये हद है आग लगी सब्र कर लिया मैंने,
ये हद है आग लगी सब्र कर लिया मैंने।
मगर न आज बचेंगे तुम्हारे जिस्म पे सर,
किसी